Hello audience. Today we understand the process of CE certification for personal protective equipment, PPE. If you are importing or exporting products into the European Union, CE certification is necessary. But working with external suppliers, how can you tell whether your source products meet this requirement? The CE certification process involves multiple parties, and has been a really confusing process for companies to navigate. Today, many unqualified intermediary agencies use lack of understanding of EU regulations to mislead into making wrong choices. This in turn makes their CE certificates invalid, which causes huge risk for enterprises. This is not to say that the certificates are fake, just that EU customs will not recognize them. Compliance risks. Far from all medical and protective face masks on the market are designed to comply with EU standards and regulations. It is therefore essential to request and verify all relevant compliance documents and lab test reports, and product labels, before importing face masks from suppliers in China, or other countries. Checklist. Confirm applicable standards, regulations for the specific type of face mask. Request and verify lab test reports. Request declaration of conformity. Check product and packaging labels. Surgical masks. The Medical Devices Directive, MDD, applies to medical devices to be placed in the EU market. As such, surgical masks, which are mainly designed to protect the patient, fall under the scope of the MDD. The directive sets requirements for face surgical masks such as testing procedure, classification, safety performance and more concerning the face mask products. Surgical masks are classified as a Class 1 medical device. However, if your masks are sterile, then they classified as Class 1, sterile. Also, note that according to the 2007 amendment of the directive, when the mask is designed to protect both the patient and the wearer, it shall comply with the PPE directive as well. Medical Devices Directive Lab Testing. To ensure the product's effective safety and performance, your face masks shall be tested to prove compliance with the MDD requirements. With that said, third-party lab testing is the only way to verify whether your face masks are compliant or not. IN 14683 Harmonized Standard. The IN 14683, Medical Face Masks is a harmonized standard under the MDD and provides requirements and test methods for medical face masks. In general, the IN 14683 standard classifies the masks into 3 categories based on their performance. R indicates that the mask offers protection for liquid splash, while other performances such as BFE remain the same. Testing companies. There are several accredited testing companies that provide MDD testing services for face mask products. EU Authorized Representative. If your company is not based in the EU, you shall appoint an authorized representative, which holds the documentation. See sections below in this article to learn more about the required documentation such as declaration of conformity, technical file and more, and is responsible to keep them updated. If your company is based in the EU, you can either act as the authorized representative or choose to appoint a third-party authorized representative. Note that the labeling, packaging or user manual shall include the name, address, and symbol of the authorized representative. Product registration. Your face masks shall also be registered within the relevant authority in the EU country where either your company or your authorized representative is based. Protective masks and respirators. Protective masks and respirators are commonly used to protect users from hazards such as smoke and dust inhalation in the workplace, hence, must also comply with the PPE directive. Due to the wide range of applications, protective masks and respirators can be classified in classes 2 or 3. Therefore, You shall first determine the category of your PP, then comply with requirements for the manufacturer's production, quality system, and involvement of the notified body. However, note that respirators usually belong to Class 3. Notified body. If your masks are classified as sterile, then the certificate of conformity shall be issued by notified bodies. For PPE that is classified in Category 2 or 3 of the directive, an assessment carried out by a notified body, which will also have to issue the certificate of conformity, is also necessary. The lab testing companies mentioned above can also act as notified bodies. Harmonized standards. Standards are the key component when importing products into the EU. For non-medical use face masks, there are standards that explain the requirements and testing procedure to establish compliance of your products. Here we list some applicable standards for protective face masks. N143, Respiratory Protective Devices, Particle Filters, Requirements, Testing, Marking. N149, Respiratory Protective Devices, Filtering half masks to protect against particles. Depending on the type of face masks, importers can find additional applicable standards on the EU official website. CE marking. Since both the MDD and the PPE directive are CE marking directives, importers must also comply with the CE marking requirements. In particular, the CE mark shall be permanently affixed in the product, as long as the nature of the product allows affixing the mark, packaging, and documentation. Certification and documentation. The CE mark is only one of the steps to comply with any CE directive. Importers also need to issue documents such as the Declaration of Conformity, User Manual, Technical Files, and Test Reports. Declaration of Conformity. The doc shall be issued by the importer or manufacturer to provide product information as follow. Produce identification SKU, for example face mask C19. Product features. Manufacturer, importer contacts. List of applicable standards or directives, that is N149. Manufacturing location. Responsible individual. The doc is often required by government bodies, retailers and even consumers, in order to confirm the CE compliance. User manual. Importers shall also create a user manual, which might include information such as 1. How to use the face mask properly. 2. Product materials and filter capacity. 3. Potential hazards related to the face mask. 4. How to dispose of the face mask properly. Technical file. The technical file is somewhat similar to the product specifications sheet. Importers shall include all relevant design, material, labels, packaging and other relevant files in the technical file. Here are some examples for your reference. Bill of materials. Design drawings. Label files. Packaging files. List of applied standards and directives, for example in 14683. Test reports. QC reports. Risk assessment. Test reports. Lastly, the test reports are essential to demonstrate the compliance of the face mask. All relevant test reports shall be provided corresponding to the standards and directives as stated in the Declaration of Conformity. Croydon Services Private Limited will help you to get a CE certification for personal protective equipment. Thanking you.